7 The Bay.
Yes, sirree. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the show. Glad to have you along with us. Our phone lines are open for you if you want to be part of the show this morning. We are joined on the phone lines this morning by a gentleman I want to talk to. Good morning, Paul. Are you there?
Yeah, how you doing, TBone? Hello, Heather.
Hello, Paul. How are you?
So I told the listeners earlier, but Paul, I want you to go ahead and cover this once again. You are working on getting legislation, first of all, drafted and then hopefully passed, that will in some way protect small businesses as we try to navigate this whole COVID experience. Explain to people what it is you're doing and where you are in the process.
Well, the last couple of weeks, I've been emailing, calling, speaking with, and setting up meetings with local, state, and federal politicians to pitch what I've entitled Small Business Owners Personal Asset Protection Act, in hopes that this legislation can be added to the next COVID relief bill. Okay,
what is driving this? What will the bill do if passed?
Well, I mean, to the point, the purpose of the bill is to sever the personal guarantees that small business owners have signed on lending and leasing. So basically, when you set up a small business, the intent of a small business is to separate yourself from the business. Mm-hmm. It's got its own tax ID number, and people set up LLCs, sole proprietorships, different corporate whatever, but the intent is to have a separate entity from yourself. That is why you pay taxes separate, everything else.
Right.
But there's this little ugly hook that banks and leasing agents use in order to protect themselves in the process of you establishing your business, and it's called the personal guarantee.
Okay, now how does that work?
And what happens with the personal guarantee is, and we'll just use me as an example, right? I wanted to set up these businesses. The business is a blank shell. There's nothing to it. So I need to get loans. I need to build out my space. Mm-hmm. You know, I need to buy equipment. I need to do these things. So I need space and I need a loan.
Okay.
So the banks now, because of, I mean, I don't want to get into what's happened in the past, but they say, you know what? We're going to break the firewall between the small business owner and the company. So we're going to make you, business owner, sign a personal guarantee. So if your business goes down, we're going to attach to your personal assets.
Ooh, okay, that's tough. And so, like a lot of
and it especially becomes tough when the government says you can't be in business.
Well,
you can't have customers come in. Big difference if you're not facing a pandemic, you're not facing, 2020. Businesses fail. That's what happens. Businesses fail. But when the government says you can't have your business doors open, that is a different beast. And and businesses should be protected from that.
Well, Heather, you're absolutely right. And let me just talk about numbers, okay? Let's get to the nitty-gritty. So most small businesses operate at a 5 to 10%, and some are lucky enough to have a 20% margin, okay?
Right.
So here you are, pre-COVID, operating at these slim margins anyway. We're talking restaurants, small businesses, gyms. I don't care what small business.
So the governor comes in and says, that margin is out the door because I'm taking away 50% of your customers because you can only have an occupancy of 50% or 25%.
Correct. So let's be very clear on this. So let's say a business makes, but it brings in $100. Out of that $100, normal business operating expenses are going to eat up 80%, at least 80% of it, and out of the rest of the 20, that's what you had to do business with. Now the government comes along and says, "Oh, by the way, we're shutting you down. Now you don't have anything."
You got nothing. So these small businesses, and myself included, I'm a prudent businessman. I do the right things, right? I save my money. And right now I'm in a situation where I'm bleeding cash every day, trying to keep the doors open, trying to navigate this post-COVID world, and trying to keep some remnants of a customer base so when this COVID stuff straightens out, I'm in a position at least to rebuild my business.
Now, you are, you've been in the community and you've been in business for a while, and I know you know a lot of business people, small business people as well. I don't think you're a unique situation. You, I'm sure, have talked to a lot of business owners who are in the same boat.
Well, TBone, Heather, this is the sad part. I have had a lot of conversations since I've embarked on this quest, okay? And some of the people I've spoken to and the response that I've gotten from inside my network, my franchise network, and within the other business community, local restaurants and things, there are people that are in dire straits.
Because they're going to lose everything. They're not only going to lose their business, they're going to lose their homes.
How many have already shut down, Paul?
Well, I mean, there's a report I read yesterday that 10,000 businesses have shut down in the past 3 months.
Wow.
And this is the tip of the iceberg. This is the tip of the iceberg.
So,
now here,
go ahead.
I mean, so I started this quest a couple weeks ago, and I've reached out. I've written a letter that outlines my legislation, right? And I'll tell you the legislation. First, there's three parts to this. One, the first part of the legislation is to sever the personal guarantees that small business owners have signed.
Okay.
The second part is in order to keep landlords from going absolutely crazy and fighting the legislation, which, again, I don't blame them. They're in business, too. They need to be protected. I believe that they should get a dollar-for-dollar tax credit for the revenue lost associated with the business going out due to COVID. They have to get something. It's the only fair thing to do.
Okay.
The banking side, banks already have items in their financials for uncollectible debt. They already have it. They operate knowing that there's going to be defaulted debt. So they ought to have a separate line item for COVID losses, businesses that go out due to COVID. And let me tell you something, between the politicians and the bank executives, they can work out some sort of tax credit, some sort of bailout that's above my pay grade.
Yes.
I'm not worried about them, right? Yeah. But everybody wins in that situation, and it enables the small business owner to fight another day. Because the truth is, on my personal debt, I don't like personal debt. But business debt is called leverage. That's how you build wealth. You leverage. This is how every wealthy person in America has played the game. You leverage. So you have business debt. You cannot let that debt take you down personally. And here's the other crazy thing. Wall Street CEOs, guess what they don't sign? Personal guarantees. It's only the small guy.
Paul,
only the small business.
Paul, let me ask you this. Who have you spoken with? And what do you need from the community, especially small business owners? What are you hoping to gain from talking to us today? Well, I want to know, I know that's two questions. Who have you talked to, and are you getting positive response? And then what do you need from the Southern Maryland small business owner?
All right, well, let me answer the first question. So I have reached out to several politicians via email talking, and locally I've reached out to Rucci, Bowling, Collins, Ellis, Bailey, Cardin. Those are the people that have somewhat responded to what I've said. Still waiting on other responses. I think I need to tap into SETI in order to get a hold of some of these people.
Well,
to help.
What has been the when you take the response? What's the temperature of these guys? Do they seem to understand what you guys are going through, or are they like, oh yeah, that sounds good, and then they just kind of show you the door?
A lot of those people you just mentioned are small business owners themselves.
Yeah, they have responded favorably, but there's really two people that I've dealt with that are absolutely amazing, that are championing an effort right now. The first on a local level is C.T. Wilson. Him and I spoke the other day, and this bill, this act is bipartisan. There's no politics involved in this at all.
Right.
And any small business owner that's listening to this right now, if you do not support C.T. Wilson, you are making a mistake, because him and I had a great conversation. He is in the process right now of trying to craft emergency legislation on the leasing side.
Oh, for the state. It's easier on the state for the leasing.
Right, because the banking is a federal issue.
Right.
Right.
So that leads me to the other thing is, you guys know that I'm very good friends with Gary Clark and some NFL guys. Well, Gary and John Booty do a congressional football game every year, and they worked a deal. Gary couldn't attend, but John Booty and I, this past Friday, were in Capitol Hill for lunch with Representative Davis from Illinois.
Okay.
So
Okay.
he has taken it upon himself to work with me. I actually have spoken to his staff a couple times, and today at 2 o'clock, I have another conference call with Representative Davis's staff to further the discussion.
Okay, so what do you need from small business owners in Southern Maryland?
Yeah, how would small business owners, at some point, you're probably going to need to walk to some politician and hand them a list of names of people who support this. So how do small business people get on board with this or become involved in this?
Well, I mean, first it's putting the word out here, and I can't thank you guys enough for having me on to do this. So we need every small business owner, and again, everybody I've spoken to is on board with it. I've yet to speak to one person who says, "Yeah, that's a dumb idea. Don't do it." Right? I mean, everybody's like, "We need this. This helps small business." So I need everybody that hears this to contact every politician you know and tell them that you support the Paul Facchina Jr. Small Business Owners Personal Asset Protection Act. And they can email me personally at paul.facchina@skyzone.com, because what I need to do is I need to create a coalition, a small business coalition, to really amp this up and push this.
Okay.
This is what it's a Herculean task, because you guys know as well as I know. The second the big banks get a hold of this, it's David against Goliath.
Yeah,
Yes, it is.
It is.
Yes, it is.
Every time.
It is going to be uphill.
See, here's the other thing, guys, too, is, the Triple P money was important. I know a lot of people that needed the money. Look, I took the Triple P loans, and you got to understand the way that worked. That was just a derivative of your payroll.
Right, exactly.
Right.
So and then they changed the rules. Was it forgivable? Was it? Is it not? Now they're saying it might be forgivable, but it's going to be called income. And then there's people that didn't really need it that were able to capitalize on it. You got all this.
Yeah, Tom Brady.
Exactly. You know what I'm
right.
saying?
Yes.
And the problem is, all we're playing is kick the can.
Mm-hmm.
That's all we're doing. You know what you get at the end of kick the can? A dented can that goes in the trash. We need a real solution to this problem. We have to protect small business owners' personal assets if their businesses go down, because I'm telling you, it is going to be a firestorm here if things don't turn.
And small business and folks like you and everybody else out there who has a small business, that's the bread and butter of this nation. 80% of businesses are small businesses. So what do you do when that goes bye-bye? Where are those jobs? They're bye-bye. How long do you think unemployment insurance is going to last? How many bailouts do you think the government can afford before finally it says you're on your own? But you're on your own because we told you you're out of business. So the whole thing, that's the rub. That's the difference. That is the difference.
This is not a business that didn't have customers.
Right.
This is not a business that, people didn't like the products. These are viable, functioning, profitable businesses that the government one day said, stop, you can't do business anymore until we sort this thing out. And then they died on the vine. That's not fair.
It's not fair. It's not just. And I'll tell you what, also.
It's not American.
What is a baseball bat designed for, T?
Hitting the ball.
Right. What is that same baseball bat called if it's used in a street fight?
A weapon?
A Democrat?
A weapon.
Yeah. A weapon. And that is the problem with these personal guarantees. And I don't want to talk about it on the air, but I have seen firsthand the weaponization of the personal guarantee.
It's interesting. All right, listen, Paul, thank you for your time. I appreciate it. If people want to reach out to you, give them that email again so they can hook up with you and get more info.
My email is paul.facchina@skyzone.com. Please, any small business owner that hears this, that wants to be part of the solution, please contact me. And here's what I want to end this way, T. Our small business owners are a big part of our community.
Huge.
We shop, dine at other small businesses.
Right.
We employ local people, local students. I employ 160 people. We are the risk takers that put it all on the line for a better life for our families. We're your neighbors. We tithe at our local churches and synagogues. We're the ones that support and donate to our local nonprofits. We send our children to the local schools and attend our local colleges. We pay our taxes, and we need your help. Because make no mistake right now, guys, we are the frog of the free market ecosystem, and the frog has 8 legs and 5.
Okay, so listen,
right,
small businesses out there, Facchina, that's Facchina at skyzone.com. I have it in the studio. If anybody out there wants to reach out, the fight is coming.
Yeah, listen, if you're a small business owner and you understand what is happening here and you find yourself in the crosshairs, it's something that needs to be looked at. Paul, good luck to you. Let us know how things shape up, all right?
Thank you. God bless you guys.
All right,
Thank
take care, buddy.
All right, take care.
It's tough, man.
It's
tough. And again, this is the rub. This is not somebody that
this
said...
isn't an economic turndown.
No.
This isn't we're going through a hard time and the stock market crashed. No, this is government telling you can't do business.
That's the difference. It's not that they couldn't do business, shouldn't do business. They don't have a business that anybody likes. These are all profitable businesses. Mm-hmm. A year ago, they're making money. They're hiring people. What do they have, 160 to 170 employees? They're making money. Stop making money. Well, when can I make money? I'll tell you when you can go back to making money, but in the meantime, lose everything, including your home.
And the thing is, you do the PPP, okay, and you do that for 8 weeks. That was it. Payroll for 8 weeks, right? Then they changed it to 12 weeks without the businesses knowing about it. And Paul's right. Now, do you have to pay? The PPP is done. The PPP was 8 months ago, and Congress hasn't been able to do a thing since. You sent out one set of checks for $1,200, and you helped the businesses out with confusing rules, and you pushed it through. Fine. You saved them for 8 weeks. 8 months ago.
But they never go out of business.
No.
They being Congress. Their checks keep coming. Their
Even
staff,
when they shut down.
Their staff keeps getting paid. Yeah, it's very frustrating.